All right, the big dog is back, and we finally at the last game of the regular season. And we got a chance to finally break the record for career triple-doubles. You know that's what we chasing. We've been chasing it all year long. On the road to this three-peat, we need that triple-double career record. So while we whip up on the Indiana Pacers, I want to talk about 2K22. Seeing as they finally dropped the blog focusing on the My Career improvements and features that we're going to see, I wanted to focus on a couple of them that I saw in Next Gen that really, truly stand out to me of being some of the biggest steps forward for the product itself. Now, the main one, of course, is the quest system. So they talked about how they got this all new quest system. It's basically an extension of the quest system they had in the past, in last year's 2K, but this time they've added more to it. So even though it'll have a main story arc, there is going to be side stories that you will get through this quest system like structure. And so what they were doing is they said instead of just going from cutscene to cutscene, so we remember, you play a couple of games and then you get a cutscene all the way till you get to the NBA, and then you probably get a couple of cutscenes in the NBA, maybe a cutscene when you break a record, and then after that, nothing else, right? You're just essentially playing games and telling your own story, and that's cool. That was okay. But it'd be great to add extra side stories that you can expand upon, and so that's what they're doing. So they're going to have a whole lot of unique side stories that you can pursue at your own leisure, at your own pace, which means that they're not throwing all of it at you at one time. You don't have to pursue it all at one time. You can pretty much chase whatever story arc you want to chase at any given time, and that is cool. You choose who to talk to, and you'll still get cinematics from those things. And that's what I really like about that as well, because if you want to still have some cinematics in your story that you can kind of like feel and live off of, then they add those in there, and you'll still get some bare bones of it, but you'll also still get a little bit more of an experience. Now, the reason why I like that is because if you can add new content in through the seasons, then that is the first step to showing us that 2K could finally be getting to that point where they don't need to be a game that comes out every year. They can come out once every 3 years, because the servers usually stay up for a couple years after the game comes out. So they can, go once every 3 years and continue to add content. And the only time they would need to come out with a new game is once they truly have a new set of features that they can't just implement in this game because they have to rewrite certain codes that have to exist the way they are in the current product. You understand what I'm saying? So hopefully hopefully that's the route that we're starting to go, and we're starting to take where it's like GTA. I mean, don't get me wrong, I know everybody's waiting for a new GTA, but GTA has had so many different updates and add-ons that were, free, and then you just earn the currency in game, even though sometimes it's a little difficult to earn, but you just earn the currency in game to be able to purchase those new vehicles, invest in those new activities, those new, side hustles. And so speaking of side hustles, that's what this whole quest system is supposed to be focusing on, ways to really expand your brand, expand your character, and give your character a little more life. All right. One of the things they mentioned as an example was, like, say, for instance, you might have an interview to do because you were blowing a team out. Like, as you can see, we're about to start blowing these cats out. And you continue to just, like, run up the score even after, you're close to the end of the game, and you just don't care. We've seen interactions like that in real NBA and how those things have panned out. Like, some players get angry and upset. So it's good to see them actually think about that and add interviews that might cover something like that. Hey, well, you was up 40 and everything. Why did you continue just putting points on the board? And you can say something like, coach ain't take me out of the game, so I kept putting up points. You might have a choice like that to say, which would be cool, because then it's like throwing your coach under the bus. Hey, coach, you should have sat me down. You know what I'm saying? That's your fault. But at the same time, it's like, these were some bums, and quite frankly, you know what you do to bums? You take them to the woodshed. That's what you do. They can't get better if you lag off of them. It's so many different ways that we can see stories come out of that. So that's cool. It allows you to tailor your career the way you want to. And then talking about music and fashion, they talked about how, like, NBA stars, they have all these side hustles that they pursue, whether it's with clothing lines, whether it's technically shoes would fall under clothing lines. I mean, it falls under apparel. So whether it's with clothing lines, shoe deals, whether it's with music, anything that they get involved in, you know, restaurants, all that. All these little things seem pretty cool because now that we're seeing that they're going to have like restaurants there, we could see, you know, opening a restaurant in the city. And we've seen them, you know, add like you on a billboard in your version of the city, and everybody else see themselves on a billboard in their version of the city. So that's going to be cool. Those are things that interest me. It intrigues me because it allows me to take each season and tell a new story, a different story, and pursue it the way I want at my pace, and hopefully get a lot of enjoyment out of it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with that, especially with the music, because they talked about how you can go into a recording studio and lay down a track. You know, I don't know if anybody know this, but I can't rap. Okay, I don't know nothing about drop spitting hot fire. I ain't never put up 16 bars. I ain't never done none of that. Right? You know what I'm saying? I can mimic some good lines. You know, I can throw a rhyme together every now and then, but I don't rap. You know what I'm saying? You can't ask me to lay down some sweet tunes. Okay, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that's going to apply and work out in my career. Those little things excite me. And they say that some of their favorite cutscenes come from those quest lines, and that's what I like about it. Extra little side quests that you can choose to pursue that makes a game extend on its main story, its base story, and give you a little side story here, side story there. And you know, one thing I ain't seen them talk about in the whole blog, man, was, you know what I'm saying, some chick in your life, okay, some woman in your life, you know, so that could be a side quest, you know. And we already know 2K don't really do counterparts that well, you know what I'm saying. It's always the worst story. So we'll see what they do with that. And then speaking of how side quests go, you got this, they talked about it in some specifics. So you'll have daily side quests, weekly side quests, seasonal side quests, and some things like racing and all that. We'll talk about all those things a little bit more down the line. Right now I just want to focus on some of the fundamentals. The last thing I really wanted to talk about was MVP of the city. So it says everything you do in the city, and they mean everything, earns you MVP points. The NBA games, city games, interviews, side quests, and runway walks. We seen that in the video. That was cool to hear and see. I don't know how weird it's going to get for me, but we'll see. But all these things bring you one step closer to becoming MVP of the city. The ultimate goal for any 2K baller. MVPs unlock the penthouse apartment. They get quick access to affiliation courts and so much more. No matter if you're a city player, NBA enthusiast, or somewhat in between, you can become an MVP of the city just playing the game the way you like to play it. So I like that aspect because that literally means that no matter which way you play, content is going to be there for you and keep you involved in the game. And like I said, these things are important because if you're not a person who plays a lot of city games, you're not a person who plays park, rec, pro-am, if that's like if you're the person who just want to play MyCAREER, like most people think that's all I do. If you're just that person that does that, then you have the opportunity to do quests that might open you up to expand into more. But at the same time, I also mentioned how in previous years we've seen that, you know, not every place has the greatest of internet connections. And sometimes having MyCAREER single player content that people can truly feel like they're playing a full product is going to be great. So I love seeing what they're doing with that. And the last thing I want to say as we wrapping it up is, first of all, as like I said, if you can see the score, we're beating the wheels off these cats. And at this point in time, I would have that interview where it's like, dude, y'all was beating them by 80 points. By 80 points, y'all was beating them. There's no reason why you should even still been on the court. Hey, ask my coach why I was still on the court. He wanted to see me put up Showtime dunks. So, you know, it is what it is. I wouldn't mind seeing how those interviews go. But like I said, when you add this up and you put that with seasons, that's going to make the game have more life. And like I said, it all depends on if they really, truly double down on it and they're investing in the longer term when it comes down to stories and content and cutscenes. And it'd be great to see them be able to write in new cutscenes. We saw 2K do it. I said 2K. We saw GTA do it with GTA Online. So it'd be great to see 2K be able to do it with this product. Like I said, we blew these cats out. We got the triple-double record. Next up, the playoffs. It's time to get that three-peat season career. It's almost done. Let's get going.